my name's Anya. I was born in London, but I'm a descendant of Polish immigrants in London. So they moved over to London after the Second World War.
Okay.
So that's why I have a Polish name. So I've been in Singapore since 2010, so 13 years now. So I work in project management, so I work with a management consultancy now in change and project management. Well, I've been here a long time, right? So Singapore is like home, and I've had 2 children here as well. So the things that I like about Singapore is that it's very multicultural. So we have a lot of friends that aren't necessarily, very few friends actually that are British, but friends from that are Indian, Chinese. So I like the fact that it's very diverse, culturally diverse. I liked the fact that Singapore was very green. It always struck me when I arrived at Changi Airport when I first came to Singapore that it was very green. And sadly I think that's changing, but I like that. I also like the enthusiasm for food and different foods. A lot of my friends are very interested in food, and like for example Polish food that we have at Christmas, my Singaporean friends enjoy coming and enjoying that. And I like the sense of community. So I go to St George's Church in Dempsey, and there's a very strong community there. So I enjoy that as well. I think Singapore's got a great sense of process. I like following processes. So it always feels relatively organised. It's very clean, but obviously we know that behind the scenes there's a lot of people that help with that. I really hope that Singapore appreciates more what's going on in Singapore. And I'll give you an example. When I was at school, we used to learn about animals. When we were growing up, and we'd read books about animals from forests and jungles and things like that. And now we're in a place where you have snakes and you have forest, and so one of the things that I talk about with the kids' teachers is, go out and explore Singapore more. You don't need to, the kids don't need to look at books and learn about lions in Africa, because they can actually go out here and observe hornbills in forests here. So by appreciating more your environment, and surroundings, and that includes also appreciating the culture, the local culture more. I think it's a natural human instinct to always envy what you don't have, so I would always say appreciate more what you do have as well, because it's a very, very culturally rich country. I've also got to meet so many different people outside of the corporate world because of like the journey that I went on with my son to try and find a papaya that was grown in Singapore. So I got to learn more about what goes on locally here, learn and meet people who are quite passionate about the environment, and also people that are passionate about diversity and inclusion. So I've met students, and I've met writers and people that I would never have met if I just kept in the corporate bubble, if you like. So there's a finite amount of land and there's a finite amount of space. So I just worry that Singapore may lose some of what they were famous for, the forest city-state. And my uncle, my great uncle, was talking about how what a beautiful place Singapore was. It's a beautiful island. So I'm hoping that there'll be like innovative ways of growing and providing what people need, but at the same time protecting something that if it's not protected for future generations, they won't have that. And when I talk about future generations, I'm talking about my friends' kids, you know, my Singaporean friends, their children. You know, it would be nice if they have even buildings from the past, or traditions from the past, or some of the natural and wild space. It would be nice if it's thoughtfully considered how to include those things in the future as well.
I came here in 1988, working in construction. The time I came in, the time was under 3-year permit. Then I go and apply for PR. They give me a PR with a condition. They give me the PR, they said that I had to work in construction for 3 years. I managed to do the 3 years, but now I already went do 30 years of construction already. After that, I feel my age catching up with me, so I don't want to do construction. Getting old. One thing I like is that there's a social order here. Everything is following by law. Got problem, go and see the lawyer. You know, system. Singapore system is very well conditioned. They provide housing for all the people. You know? All systematically blocked, you know. There's a lot of block in Singapore. You have to throw the rubbish down the same place. You have to take back the water all go back to the same place. So it's easier to keep the environment neat, you know. Education in Singapore is very good. That's why I let my children stay here, educated here. Quite a world-class standard in the primary school, you know. When the teacher are, you know, where I see the teacher in Singapore is very more professional. You know, in primary school, secondary school, someone can give a good head start for the children. That one thing is the cost of living. The cost of living went up quite dramatically. Last time when I came here to work, the time I was 1988. So there's no GST one. I got yearly tax around $300. The next year work, I still got income tax. We have to report income tax at the time. But now you don't, income tax automatically in. So the average yearly tax for me at my time in 1988, 1990, when the GST haven't implemented at the time, I was around $300. For me, on my scale of salary, I only get taxed $300. But today is different. Today they don't tax you anymore. Today you pay GST. I think the road, the MRT line almost 99% complete already. When you zigzag here, that's it. You cannot improve anymore. So now they maybe bicycle the only way they can improve is the bicycle lane, you know.
Yeah.
In future, I can see maybe there's more electrical mobility bicycle. That's the only next improvement the government can think of. South, there's a nice seaside there. The seaside there is very cool. Walk around the seaside, Garden by the Bay. That's like then you can walk that side. Just walk. You can feel the environment also clean air. Water is clean. You okay
For years and years and years, off and on, going to different countries, from here back to here, starting in 1974 when I came from Amsterdam via Bangkok. Somebody offered me a job, so I stayed here for a couple of years. Then I went a couple of years in South America, and then Northern Europe, then KL and Jakarta and Bangkok again, and here again. A creative writer. Fundamentally, it's copywriting.
Okay.
I work with ad agencies as a creative director, and we sell tons of client products with our creative ideas. And it's fun, just like my ads. Safety, I mean. Yeah, it's very safe. Ladies can walk safely at night. To me, that is very important. Oh, there's generally a lot of trees. That is very important.
Yeah.
But I harbour a growing suspicion that a lot of them are being cut down to make way for ghastly concrete.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea, which is being erected to simply make money.
Right.
I think trees are very important, and the tree environment is crucial to people's well-being, mental well-being.
Yeah.
I think maybe they might help the poor a bit more.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to be a wealthy country, the government and everything, isn't it? So maybe they should adopt more of the attitudes of Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Northern Scandinavia particularly, in terms of helping people, the elderly. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like writing poems. I write romantic poems to beautiful ladies, and I wrote a war poem which the PM liked. That was for the commemoration of the Askar Mulayu, which is a Malay regiment who were very brave fighting the Japanese. I built a tree house over the beach where I was living at Pasir Panjang. That was beautiful. I climbed up about 40 feet of tree and suspended ropes, which were all washed up. It was a castaway scenario. Trees, lots of them. Lake, rocks. Rocks are important. Sometimes they fall down with a splash and a rumble. They have little creatures swimming about. What we call them. Hello. Let them say hello. Yoo-hoo. Well, I've got 2 dragonflies. Had something to eat.
I was actually born in Singapore. But at the time my dad was actually a permanent resident and so was my mom. So I got the permanent resident status from there. But over time my other sibling became a citizen because my dad converted to a Singapore citizen. He was actually originally from Myanmar, same thing as my mom as well. I'm actually a student, but I also do part-time job, mainly in F&B industry. So something like being a waiter and stuff like. One thing I would like about Singapore is how safe it is, in the sense that there's a sort of protection you have in the country . You don't feel threatened all the time when you go out. Let's say I go out normally. Like, even though they say that low crime doesn't mean no crime, right? However, it's still really safe. Like, so far, personal experience, I've not been like robbed or anything. But whereas when I was in my home country, Myanmar, right, it was a bit unsafe in some parts, especially my neighborhood. Sometimes there'll be burglars and stuff, so it was like very different from Singapore. So I guess one thing I do like about Singapore is safety. I think one thing that matters to me in Singapore, it would be actually inclusiveness. So like, you see, I was not actually a very normal kid. Actually, I do have autism. So being included in society itself is really hard, but somehow I'm not a citizen, so like makes inclusion even harder. But one thing that I value the most is inclusivity, because from living here, I did notice that people are willing to take me in, willing to talk to me, be friends, even despite having those conditions, and despite not being a citizen, and despite having autism. I guess I'm still welcome here. So I think that's something I am grateful for, that I appreciate. In Singapore, some of my interests will include, like, I do hiking, I also do photography. Sometimes I write stories as well. And if I have space on my laptop, I will do music composition. Then I also like have animals, so I like to raise them, and I actually do gardening as well. So like, one of the places I like to go usually would be at dessert shops. There's actually a shop in Jurong Point, which is at Boon Lay. My mom would bring me there. It's called Ji De Chi, which is a Hong Kong dessert, and it's decently affordable. As well, the dessert is actually quite nice, so I guess that has a lasting impact on me since my childhood. And another place I would like to go often would be actually at the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. That's because it's a place where I can take my wildlife photos, as well as just de-stress in general, because you can climb up the whole hill. So it's generally quite de-stressing if I do need an outlet to let go of all the frustration in a healthy way. And another place I like to go would be actually the gym at Jurong Lake Gardens. That's because that's where I also learn how to build up my self-confidence and generally be more fit.
I'm Sam Arboli Patentes. I'm from Philippines. I'm been working and living in Singapore for 15 years. What I like in Singapore, yes, Singapore is a small country, which is true. But Singapore also is a nice country, safe country, culture, and people around here are very kind. And the people also are friendly, which is the best thing. And a lot of things to do in Singapore, which is I've been doing my hiking for many years. I've been doing my marathon also for many years. I'm enjoying it, and that is, maybe I can say that that is the reason why I'm being here in Singapore for many years. What matters for me most in Singapore, of course, respect. The respect of people around me, and of course my respect also to them. Church, because I've been going to church every Sunday. And then friends, and of course money, of course, aside of money, the salary every month, that's why I'm here. Aside from that is respect, and of course matters also my employers, which is I've been working for many years to them. And the people surround me are very kind, and those people also I value it, that is matter the most to me. The Green Corridor, and then the Clementi Forest, which is I've been doing hiking there. And then before I was in Dover Forest, which is I'm doing a volunteer cleanup. And then after that, at the Green Corridor, which is I've been doing my running there, my training. And then Lazaro Island, which is I love to go in the beach because I love nature. And nature for me is where I can release my stress, where I can enjoy my free time. Just I can say that I am beyond grateful because you know why? I'm sure a story that many of my friends from 2018, I'm here since 2018, that they moved to US, Canada, Brazil, Australia, Hong Kong, around the world. They keep calling me, come here, and then why you stay in Singapore for many years for what? And then your salary, this and this, to compare to their salary, which is very true. But that thing is, I don't see for salary. I don't base on salary, which is I base when I feel okay, I feel safe, and I feel like love the people where I stay, right? Because for me, I'm from Philippines, so from Philippines to Singapore it's just a few hours, right? So I want like when my family need me, I can in and out in Singapore. That is really matter for me. And then one thing is it's not about money, but it's about like, yes, true that I'm working hard, but of course I have to enjoy my life while working it. You know, I'm growing old, I can, at the end of the day I have to go back in my place, but at least I can look back my memories, which is the best memories here is I'm doing my marathon, which is I love running. And I'm also doing my hiking, and I value people here. The culture here also is very good. I like their local tea from Toastback, and I have their chicken rice, which is very good. So things for me is it's not about the country. It's not about the money, how much you get in the month, your salary. But for me, it's in my opinion, is how how I live, how people love me. And I also like to enjoy. I'm enjoying in Singapore. That's why I'm in Singapore almost 2 decades, and this is my first country that I work in. So for me, I prefer to work here. It's the matter that you're safe, the people loves you around you, and you love also the people. So that is matter. And I value the people that take care of me, and I value my employers to hold me for how many years, which is I'm grateful.